This is pork belly. If cooked correctly, it can be one of the most delicious things you can ever have. But there's a problem with this cut. It is quite fatty, and if you don't cook it properly, it will not be as good. However, on today's video, I finally cracked the code. First, we need to prepare the pork belly. And if you ever had porchetta, you know how good it actually is. I started off by splitting the whole thing in half. This gives me more surface area for the seasoning. I started with a good amount of salt, followed by black pepper, cumin, guajillo chili powder, and to finish it off, garlic powder. Now you gotta roll the whole thing up into itself. As next, we wanna go ahead and tie the whole thing up. This is a crucial step, and you want to do this so that it can cook evenly. But once that's done, you want to add additional butcher's twine. As now, you want to go ahead and tie that up onto your oven rack. Once done, it should be hanging just like this. Now you're probably thinking, why? What's the reason behind it? You see, as you already know, pork belly has a lot of fat. The key here is to allow that fat to render as much as possible. At the same time, you want to put that fat to good use. And the worst thing that can ever happen to you whenever you cook pork belly is to get a grease fire. So here's why this technique is so fantastic. I went ahead and grabbed an additional tray. Onto it, I threw in some vegetables. You can see I used tomatoes, jalapeno, and garlic. Now this will go right underneath the pork belly. I went ahead and set the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. The hopes is that the fat will render nice and slow, basting all of the vegetables underneath. As you can clearly see, it is working like a charm. This is what I was hoping for. All of the vegetables are getting a nice caramelization, and the fat is rendering nice and slow and being put to good use. This will take some time, and the wonderful thing about it is that you can do this with several different other dishes. Even potatoes can go underneath, as these vegetables only took about 20 minutes, and the pork belly itself would take about 2 hours. So I went ahead and got the tray out and put another one in. You can fill the second one up with some potatoes. I just didn't have any available. But take a look at what we are left with. Nicely roasted vegetables, full of fat and flavor. Now we gotta put it to good use. This is the easiest part. I went ahead and scraped the whole pan, threw everything into a blender, followed by chicken bouillon, black pepper, salt, chili de árbol, and chicken stock. Now you want to blend everything on high, and in the end you're left with this, an incredible salsa. But to make it even better, I threw in some fresh onions, followed by cilantro. Mix that up real good, and then I added a few slices of avocado. It's that simple, friends. Now this is wonderful on a taco and many other things. But since I had it ready, I decided to go ahead and make an awesome side dish with it. And of course, if you know me, you gotta always have some steaks. For that, it's pretty simple though. I got these 2 beautiful New York strip. I went ahead and seasoned them with salt, pepper, and garlic powder, threw them in the bag, vacuum sealed them, and let them cook sous vide. Once the time was up, I took them out, I opened up the bag, and immediately put a sear on them. That's when we know the flamethrower works like a charm. As once that's done, we have a beautiful crusted steak, and most importantly, perfectly cooked because it was done sous vide. Absolutely perfection. To finish up the side dish, I went ahead and placed the steaks right on top, followed by a tiny bit of cilantro, some pickled onions, and some flaky salt on top of the steak to have a nice crunch. Now this is today's side dish. Because remember one thing, even though this looks phenomenal, it is just a side dish. As by this time, my pork belly was fully cooked. And check it out. I went ahead and removed all of the strings, and I was left with perfect golden brown perfection. Exactly what I was expecting. The hanging method just works, and it is so simple and easy to do, and the proof is right in front of you. But we're not done yet, as now we need to make something delicious with it. Because I know exactly what you're thinking. My pork belly looks good, but we're gonna make it a lot better. So watch this. All right, everybody, and here we got our beautiful feast. Gentlemen, what do you guys think, huh?
It smells so good here, man. I just eat tacos.
Yeah, taco is always fantastic, everybody. It does not matter what you put on a taco, it's always gonna be good. You guys agree?
100% agree.
I wanna know if this technique works good. 2 things I wanna know about this pork belly. Number 1, if it tastes good. Number 2, if the fat rendered properly, and if I put the good use to that fat.
Okay.
And if I put that fat to good use. Okay. Excuse me. My English sometimes gets messed up, everybody, especially when I'm excited. You see, I can't even pronounce it properly. Anyway, can you tell I'm excited, everybody? Because this technique is phenomenal to cook. It's very easy to do, nice and safe, because pork belly can be quite dangerous, okay? Especially if you got a grease fire. And if that happens to you, watch out. Not good. Okay, let's start with the pork belly first. We're judging that up. Okay, so First of all, I can see that the fat rendered nicely, but it didn't render too much so that it's dry. You gotta be careful when you cook pork belly, because if you render too much of the fat, then it's like dry. All right, let's give it a go.
All right, here we go.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, wow.
I love it so much.
This is really good. Let me tell you, I know one of the things we have to judge is the fat. The fat rendered beautifully on this. It's perfectly cooked, so you can take a nice bite out of it and it leaks those juices, but it's still soft and chewy. It's delicious.
Yeah, 100% agree.
This is pork belly to perfection. Fat rendered properly, it's still juicy, and all the flavors go perfectly. I don't know what you seasoned it with, but it matches the flavor of the pork. It amplifies it.
100%. Here's what I will say. You can season it with whatever it is that you like, everybody. If you want to even to do like porchetta style, like Italian way, you can as well. However, today I wanted to go more taco style. So the fact that it renders so nicely and it's also very safe for you to do it at home without any grease fire, it's a win-win for me.
Yeah, normally pork belly has like a crispiness to it, but I really don't mind that this one is more soft and
and by
juicy.
the way, it will work too with a crispy. I just didn't have one that had skin on, but this works fantastic. But now I put all those juices and those fat to good use, okay? So you guys wouldn't complain. I have a sous vide steak over here. Yes, I do.
I was gonna say, this is the channel. Where's the sous vide-ness?
That's correct. What?
The sous vide-ness, you
The
know?
sous vide-ness. So you see there's a little bit of that sauce on the bottom. It's all about that sauce. Enough talking. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh yeah. It's even smoky.
Yeah, so much flavor on that.
A huge amount of flavor, everybody. Wow.
It is hot, it is very creamy, but also like a little bit thick. Kind of reminds me of like the consistency of like a curry almost. But
Correct.
this is a completely different flavor. Super savory, super spicy.
It's not spicy where it's unbearable. It's a nice spice, so it complements everything. It actually pairs very well with the steak, and then obviously the rice.
I will say this, everybody. Even if you don't make the steak, it works perfectly as a dish. Fantastic. You know, just put the pork belly on top instead of the steak. Now, let's make it official, yeah? Let's see if everything is really better with a taco. Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh my God. That was meant to be put on a tortilla.
Yep, that sauce is banging. Plus you have a little bit of acidity from the onions too that kind of like balances out in a different way than that last dish we had was.
Did you put avocado in the sauce too?
Yeah.
It's extra creamy and it gives it a freshness. Obviously, the pork belly is good, but I like the fact that you put pickled onions and raw onions. It has the bite of the raw onion, but a little bit of sweetness from the pickled one as well.
You also get that beautiful pork belly flavor as well on top of the juiciness that comes out of it. This is like, I think, the winner for sure.
100%.
This is out of this world flavor and it's fun to eat too.
The pork belly is good, everybody. But the sauce, that fattiness from the sauce and the vegetables together is on a whole nother level. And the best part is not wasting that fat, you know? Instead of just letting it go. But those are the results. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe. Remember, everything I use is always in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.